All right, Facebook, YouTube, and Bigo Livers. It's Brother Ibhar. Some know me as Yachtmaster. I want to deal with the Sabbath today. You know, on Bigo they know me as Yachtmaster. Israel knows me by Brother Ibhar. C.O.I. the 12 Stones. Yeah, that's what y'all may know me by. First off, I want to deal with the Sabbath and the word morning because I believe that people have taken out of context the word morning and created a doctrine out of it from Genesis chapter 1. And we're going to deal with that really quick. And I'm going to stop and pause and get to each precept so y'all can know and have this understanding. Okay, this is where it all started about the Sabbath and Friday evening being the Sabbath to Saturday evening. This is where it started. Genesis chapter 1, verse 1 through 5. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. And the earth was without form and void, and darkness was upon the face of the deep. And the Spirit of God moved upon the face of the waters. And God said, "Let there be light." And there was light. And God saw the light, that it was good, and God divided the light from the darkness. Here it is, y'all. Verse 5. And God called the light day, and the darkness he called night. And the evening and the morning were the first day. Right? It were the first day. It didn't say evening and morning is, or evening is the morning. It says they were the first day. The word there is day, not they were the first morning, first and foremost. Anyway, so to destroy another doctrine that the Sabbath goes by the new moon, let's see what happened. The evening and morning was the first day. Now let's go down to Genesis, because I was dealing with a brother this morning. I'm not going to say his name. This morning on Facebook, who was trying to tell me that this was what it was about, which it isn't. But let's deal with that too. Genesis 1 in chapter 14, we're going to read down to verse 19. And the Most High said, "Let there be lights in the firmaments of the heaven to divide the day from the night. And let them be for signs and for seasons and for days and years. And let them be for lights in the firmament of heaven to give light upon the earth." And it was so. Verse 16. And God made two great lights, the greater light to rule the day, and the lesser light to rule the night. He made the stars also. Verse 17. And God set them in the firmament of heaven to give light upon the earth, and to rule over the day and over the night, and to divide the light from the darkness. And God saw it was good, and the evening and the morning were the fourth day. So the sun, moon, and stars were created on the fourth day. This destroys the new moon doctrine as being the beginning of the Sabbath. Because now let's go to Genesis chapter 2. Genesis chapter 2 and 1. And the heaven and the earth were finished, and all the host of them. And the seventh day God ended his work which he had made, and he rested on the seventh day from all his work which he had made. And God blessed the seventh day and sanctified it, because that in it he rested from all his work which God created and made. So, the Most High rested 3 days later after he created the sun, moon, and stars. Right? So, because of that, that proves that it doesn't go by the new moon, because that was the first moon. That's the newest of all moons. Right? He didn't restart his count from the fourth day. He didn't go from 4 and then recount 1 through 7 to give you the Sabbath. That's not what happened. He rested 3 days later. according to the creation week story in Genesis 1 and 2. Okay? Now, let's go to Exodus, the 16th chapter, because this is the Most High reintroducing the children of Israel to keeping the Sabbath after they were released from their captivity in Egypt. Right? So let's deal with that. Right? We're going to start from the top and read all the way down because there's clues which is going to show you when the Sabbath is, the laws of the Sabbath and how to keep it. It's going to be very interesting. Let's read. We're going to start at Exodus 16. We're going to start at verse 1. And they took their journey from Elam, and all the congregation of the children of Israel came into the wilderness of Sin, which is between Elam and Sinai, on the 15th day of the second month after their departing out of the land of Egypt. And the whole congregation of the children of Israel murmured against Moses and Aaron in the wilderness. And the children of Israel said unto them, Would to God we had died by the hand of the Lord in the land of Egypt, when we sat by the flesh pots, and when we did eat bread to the full, for ye have brought us forth into this wilderness to kill this whole assembly with hunger. That's the key here in verse 3. The children of Israel's complaint to the Most High was they sat by the flesh pot, they got to eat as much flesh as they desired, and they had bread to the full. So the Most High answered them. We all know the story. He gave them so much quail that they got sick of it. But what was that bread that he gave them? He gave them manna, which we're going to touch on. And he gave it at two different dispensations in the same day. Because I don't care what part of the day that you call it. There's 12 hours of daylight and there's 12 hours of evening or night. It's a 24-hour period. I don't care what order you put it in. But we have to deal with this evening being the morning. We're going to see if that's true. Because it's in here when he's introducing us to the Sabbath. Right? We're back at Exodus 16 and verse 4. Then said the Lord unto Moses, Behold, I will rain bread from heaven for you, and the people shall go out and gather a certain rate every day, that I may prove them whether they will walk in my law or no. And it shall come to pass that on the 6th day they shall prepare that which they bring in, and it shall be twice as much as they gather daily. Verse 6. And Moses and Aaron said unto all the children of Israel, At even, then you shall know that the Lord hath brought you out of the land of Egypt. Verse 7. And in the morning, then you shall see the glory of the Lord, for that he heareth your murmuring against the Lord, and that what are we that ye murmur against us? These are two clues that the Most High is giving you on how to keep the Sabbath. He said at evening, you're going to know something. You're going to learn something this evening coming up. So they're having this conversation in the morning, and we're going to prove that as well. Watch this. Verse 8. And Moses said, This shall be when the Lord give you in the evening flesh to eat, and in the morning bread to the full. The same dispensation in a day, he's giving you two different let's call it food groups. He's giving you in the evening, he's giving you flesh. In the morning, he's giving you bread. This actually proves that the evening is not the morning. We're going to keep reading. Watch this. Verse 9. And Moses said unto Aaron, Say unto all the congregation of the children of Israel, Come near before the Lord, for he hath heard your murmuring. And it came to pass, as Aaron spoke unto the whole congregation of the children of Israel, that he looked toward the wilderness, and behold, the glory of the Lord appeared in the cloud. Now, I told you they were having this conversation in the morning, and let's prove that because of verse 10. Let's go to, where is that? That's also in Exodus. That's going to be in Exodus chapter 13, verse 20 and 21. And it reads, verse 20, and they took their journey for Sukkot and encamped in Etham and in the edge of the wilderness. And the Lord went before them by day in a pillar of a cloud to lead them the way, and by night in a pillar of fire to give them light to go by day and night. Now, verse 10 again, Exodus 16. And it came to pass, as Aaron spoke unto the whole congregation of the children of Israel, that they looked toward the wilderness, and behold, the glory of the Lord appeared in a cloud. So we clearly know that's day. We clearly know that's morning. But it can't be evening. Can't be. Because he said in the evening or at night, he comes as a pillar of fire. It clearly says he came in a cloud. Verse 11, Exodus 16 and 11. And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, I have heard the murmuring of the children of Israel. Speak unto them, say, at evening ye shall eat flesh, and in the morning you shall be filled with bread, and ye shall know that I am the Lord your God. And it came to pass that at even the quail came up and covered the camp. And in the morning the dew lay round about the host. Have you heard of something called morning dew when it's on your grass? It's there roughly from like 6:30 to like 7 until the sun just dries it up. Morning dew, he said the dew lay around about the camp. And when the dew that was lay, in verse 14, and when the dew that lay was gone up, behold, upon the face of the wilderness there lay a small round thing, as small as the hoarfrost on the ground. And when the children of Israel saw it, they said one to another, it is manna, for they wist not what it was. And Moses said unto them, this is the bread which the Lord hath given you to eat. Now let's go back. We got to backtrack so we can get this understanding. Right? Go back to verse 12. I have heard the murmuring of the children of Israel. Speak unto them, saying, at even ye shall eat flesh, and in the morning you shall be filled with bread. What is this bread that they're talking about in verse 15? The manna, which comes in the morning. Flesh comes in the evening. Manna, the bread of the Most High, comes in the morning. It cannot be evening. Morning and evening are not the same things, at least according to these precepts. And evening is really evening, because he said when it's dark out, you're going to get this flesh. When the sun is up, you're going to get this bread. There's no confusion there. I don't see how anybody can read anything less than that in what we're reading. Let's continue to read. Verse 15. This is the thing which the Lord hath commanded. Gather of it, we're talking about the bread, the manna. Gather of it every man according to his eating, an omer for every man according to the number of your persons. Take ye every man for them which are in his tent. And the children of Israel did so, and gathered some more, some less. And when they did meet it with an omer, he that gathered much had nothing over, and he that gathered little had no lack. They gathered every man according to his eating. Verse 19. And Moses said, let no man leave of it until morning. Now let's see if this is the evening. If evening is morning, which that's the understanding some people have or that they claim, right? Notwithstanding, we're at verse 20. Notwithstanding, they hearkened not unto Moses, but some of them left of it until morning, and it bred worms and stank, and Moses was wroth with them. 21. And they gathered it every morning, every man according to his eating, and when the sun waxed hot, it melted. Meat doesn't melt. When the sun waxed hot, that's how we know the morning, because they gathered it, and they gathered it every morning. We're at verse 21. Every man according to his eating. We know for a fact that bread comes in the morning, not the evening. Not in the evening. And when the sun waxed hot, it melted. There's no way of getting around that. Morning is not evening. It's very plain and simple. There's no way of getting around that. Verse 22. And it came to pass that on the 6th day they gathered twice as much bread. How come they didn't say they gathered twice as much flesh? They gathered twice as much bread, 2 omers for one man, and all the rulers of the congregations came and told Moses. And we know too well that bread only comes in the morning, when the sun is up. We just read, when the sun waxed hot, it melted. Verse 23, and he said unto them, this is that which the Lord hath said. Tomorrow, not today, on the 6th day, tomorrow. He didn't say this evening either. And there's no mention of the new moon. Tomorrow is the rest of the holy Sabbath unto the Lord. Bake that which you will bake today, and sieve that you will sieve, and that which remaineth overlay up for you to be kept until the morning. He told you, that's why the manna melted, because it was pasty and doughy. You had to bake that. That's why it says that. Bake that which you will bake today. You bake the bread. You're going to bake that bread today, right? And you're going to keep that food, whatever you cook, sieve, and all that stuff, you're going to leave over to be kept for you on the morning. Because tomorrow, the 7th day, what we know as Saturday, is the Sabbath. He said, and that which remaineth overlaid up for you to be kept until morning. Keep it until the morning. And they laid it up until morning, as Moses bade, and it did not stink, neither was there any worms therein. Watch what Moses tell him. We're on the 25th verse. And Moses said, eat that today, for today is the Sabbath unto the Lord. No mention of evening. Today is the Sabbath of the Lord. Today you shall not find it in the field. Ain't no bread outside this morning. I didn't send you no bread. Ain't nothing out there. Let's continue to read. Verse 26. 6 days shall ye gather it, but on the 7th day, which is the Sabbath, in it there shall be none. And it came to pass that there went out some of the people on the 7th day to gather, and they found none. And the Lord said unto Moses, how long refuse ye to keep my commandments and my laws? See, for that the Lord hath given you the Sabbath. Therefore he giveth you on the 6th day the bread. Notice he's mentioning the bread, which we know comes in the morning, the bread of 2 days. Abide ye every man in his place. Let no man go out of his place on the 7th day. So the people rested on the 7th day. Now, I'm going to put this video back out on Facebook. So y'all, YouTube, whatever, argue with the scriptures. I'm not going to sit here and waste time arguing. The scriptures have proven morning is not evening. He said in the evening you're going to get quail. There's no way to argue this. It has nothing to do with, oh, the evening starts, the holy days, some holy days, Passover and all that. Because I'm going to agree with that. I don't argue none of that. Because These things are separate. They're not all the same. They're not all linked up. The Day of Atonement is a Sabbath, but it's a different type of Sabbath. You know what I'm saying? There's Sabbatons or Sabbathons or however you pronounce it. There's all different type of Sabbath. New Moon Sabbath and all of that stuff. They are not the same holy day. I'm addressing the weekly Sabbath, right? Just the weekly Sabbath alone. So now we know it starts on the seventh day. He told them to keep it until morning, right? When the bread should have came. So now we know when is the start of the Sabbath. I'm just going to deal with 4 more precepts and then I'm done. Anybody have a problem with it? Hey, it's not my fault. Argue with the Most High. I'm just trying to help because I love my nation. And the Sabbath is the most important high holy day of all high holy days. I know a lot of you, Salakia, you don't, Salakia, you don't subscribe to other books, the Book of Jubilees, the Book of Jasher, Enoch. Well, that's proven to be scripture. But I'm gonna give you just the Bible, just the what's in the Bible and what's in the Apocrypha, if need be, addressing the Sabbath. But again, let me give you these last 4 precepts and I'm gone. I'm going to Matthew 28. Matthew 28 and 1. Right? In the end of the Sabbath, as it began to dawn toward the first day of the week, came Mary Magdalene and the other Mary to see the sepulchre. It's very plain. They came during dawn means to grow light. The light was growing. What's wrong with my phone? Why did it